Hey everyone, and welcome to the On The Go Show, a variety show where two friends talk pop culture and current events.
If you would like to join the conversation, you can email us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at On The Go with Jacob and James.
Without further ado, let's start the show. Well, James, we're back. We're officially on the go, I guess you could say.
Yep.
We are two separate cities. Two cities
fully remote.
Yeah, fully remote and everything else going on. But you know, they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, James. So does your heart feel fonder? Does it?
I don't know what that means. Maybe. I guess so.
Okay. Well, it's supposed to be a term of endearment, I suppose. I don't know. It's one of those sayings. Everyone always have sayings.
Yeah. That's one of those Hallmark gifts.
Yeah, like
Hallmark cards.
Yeah, exactly. How have you been?
Things could get better. Things could be better. Yep.
That's how it always goes, you know.
Yep, as usual.
Yeah. Anything nice going on? Anything crazy?
Nope, not really. Same old different day. Yeah.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, I've been moving, or I have moved to the great city of San Antonio, the great state. I was about to say,
yeah.
And boy, that was kind of an odyssey.
What happened? Just give a complete story and rundown.
You know, it's just moving is never easy. Even if you have movers and people packing up your apartment, it's still like just never an easy process, right? So Thursday, the movers come and they start gathering all my things and. You know, for the most part, they're asking me like, "Hey, what goes, what stays? Like, do you want this? Do you want that? You want this to stay?" And essentially, we just left all the cleaning supplies because we're like, "Look, all the cleaning supplies, we keep it here because we're probably going to come back and clean the apartment, right?"
Yeah,
that was the idea anyway. And let me tell you, these movers did a fantastic job of just like packing everything. They wrapped every individual item in like the moving wrapping paper.
God damn.
Yeah, like as we're unboxing stuff here, we're just like, wow, they really like little trinkets, little like knick-knacky things that are already in a box that's not really going to get hurt at all is wrapped individually.
Damn, that's pretty good.
It is. It's nice, but it's also like really annoying because like we have to unwrap every individual item, and then we just have all this wrapping paper, so we're just like throwing it back into boxes, and it's kind of a mess around here right now. So.
So there's no boxing wrappers everywhere?
Yep, pretty much, man. And
damn.
Yeah. They did a great job, but it was like a full work day. So it was like about 7 or 8 hours. They were done by like 3:30.
God, oh.
Yeah, and then you know, we still had a bunch of extra stuff because we had kept aside some like suitcases and some personal items because it wasn't guaranteed at first that they were going to deliver it like the next day or the day after. They gave us a window of like 6 days. I think they gave us up to like Halloween.
Man.
Well, while the guys were boxing all of our stuff, you know, I guess the main guy who schedules the stuff was like, "Hey, are you going to be at your apartment on Sunday? Because we can deliver this on Sunday." And I was like, "Yes, please. The sooner the better, right?"
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that worked out because I was fully preparing to do this podcast in an empty room, holding my microphone with my computer. But I was able to get my desk set up, and I have a nice little setup going right now. I need to get some acoustic paneling for the room. And
so you can kind of cancel all the echoing.
Yeah, just a little bit, you know, just to make it nicer. And I have a closet in this room that I'm going to turn into like a semi like vocal like recording booth if I have to record any kind of voiceover kind of thing.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to be working on that in the next few weeks. But anyway, so they're like, "Hey, we'll deliver it Sunday." Great. You know, we stayed at a hotel on Thursday night, Khadijah and I. So Friday we get up.
Because the apartment wasn't ready?
We still stayed in Houston. We were still in Houston.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
So Thursday we stayed in Houston at a hotel. Friday morning, get up, go to the apartment, get the cats, caravan over to San Antonio. Now, Khadijah had to work. Khadijah had to work both Thursday and Friday. So while she went to work, I went, got the cats. My parents kind of helped me like move some stuff because they were in town. And so they took one of the cats, I took two of the cats, and we loaded up our vehicles with all the stuff we were going to take, and we caravaned to San Antonio. And I was trying to get there as fast as I could, because first of all, it's a 3.5 hour drive, which is really long, right?
That's not as bad as Dallas, but yeah.
That is true. It's not as bad as going to Dallas, but it is when you have two crying cats the entire 3.5 hours. Like,
that's true.
Our cats are not very good with like being in the kennel or, you know, being enclosed spaces, especially Chester. So like the whole time, just like meowing. And, you know, Chester never makes a noise. So normally when he meows, it's because he's distressed. And that's exactly what was going on. He was just like, I don't want to be in this thing anymore.
Yeah, so, that makes sense.
And we were making like pit stops along the way. And like me personally, I would have just drove straight there. But my parents are like, we got to stop every once in a while. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Because that's taking time. Mm-hmm. And you're to the point where, look, I just want to get one straight shot there.
I just want to get there. I want to get in this. I want to get the cats in the apartment. I want to get to my hotel in San Antonio. I don't want to be on the road for as longer than I need to be. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so we stopped a couple times, and you know the stops are weird because like we can't turn the cars off because the animals. So we had to like use the bathroom in shifts, and it just like elongated the process, right? It's
yeah,
like,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of like on edge and stressed the whole time because I'm just like, I just want to get these cats to the apartments. And meanwhile, we're getting like emails from the apartment complex that's like, hey, I noticed that like only Khadidra's name is on the renter's insurance. You know, both your names need to be on the renter's insurance, otherwise Jacob can't get keys.
Yeah.
And so I get to the apartment complex and I see this email and I call Khadidra before I even go in the building. I call Khadidra. I was like, hey, look, this is what they're emailing us. Like, is there any way we can add my name to the renter's insurance? Because we did it through our insurance that we have our car insurance through. I tried to log on so I can do it myself, but the renter's insurance doesn't show up on my side. I guess because like Khadidra had established it on her end. It doesn't show it on my side. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, no. That's a sidebar. That's the same thing that happened to me before. Yeah, they always want both names on the signature.
Yeah,
they always want that.
So I call Khadidra about it, and then Khadidra's like looking at it and stuff, and she's looking at the insurance card, and she's like, it states that anybody who's living with me is insured. Like Khadidra, like her name's on it, and then there's like a little fine print that's like anybody living with Khadidra is insured, like spouses, relatives, you know, people under 21, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I was like, okay. So I go in the building, and the leasing agent we signed our lease with wasn't there that day. It was a different leasing agent. But she gave me the keys, no problem. She's like, hey, we got your renter's insurance. Everything seems to check out. Here's your keys and everything. Like, welcome home, that kind of thing. I go to park, and I go to start bringing our stuff in. And this apartment complex, the way it is, James, is to get inside, you have a phone app. It's like a
phone app?
Yeah, it's a phone app, and basically it's like your key card, badge, whatever you want to call it. And so like when you walk up those doors, you hold up your phone to the sensor, and then the door opens up. It's like super secure, apparently.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, and I forgot to get that app, so I was like, crap. Well, we were able to get into the building, and we were able to get the cats inside. But then I had to go back to like figure out how to download this stupid app. That didn't take as long as it could have, but it was just like the whole debacle of just like I just want to. I'm just here. I just want to get the cats in. I just want to get to my hotel. It's been a long day.
Yeah,
and so
that's crazy.
Yeah, you know, moving is just never easy. That's all it is. Like it's never an easy process.
Well, I mean, it's a little easier when you're moving in. You know, same city or if it's next door.
That is true.
Or something like that. When you're moving into another state, then yeah, it's never easy.
Yeah, that is true.
And that's where the problem came in at for you guys.
Right. So also, the day that we moved up here, I was supposed to get like the AT&T internet, AT&T fiber sent to us because the whole apartment complex only deals with AT&T fiber. Mm-hmm. And the moving people helped us set it up. So they were like, hey, yeah, it'll be there the day Friday when you go to get keys and everything. It wasn't here yet. So we went back to our hotel. I showered and I got dinner with my family. And Khadija was still at work. She didn't get off until like 5:30, 6 o'clock. So anyway, the AT&T thing comes in at like 4 o'clock or whatever. So I got nothing to do. So I go back to the apartment and I'm trying to set up the AT&T. internet. And first of all, I don't know, what kind of internet do you have over there?
It's just like the places. It's like, so what you call it, for low income families.
Okay,
it's like this type of internet.
I gotcha.
It's like, yeah, it's not really like a name brand internet.
I gotcha. It's just like a generic internet.
Yeah, generic internet.
Okay, that's cool. AT&T, like they have the AT&T fiber internet, and it's supposed to be like this awesome internet. It's supposed to be super fast and 5G and like the holy grail of internets, right? That's how they sell it. Every time that Khadija and I have tried to switch to AT&T, it has always been an annoying process because like not only is it just like a plug and play thing, they have to like come and install the fiber wire for it to actually work. So like,
yeah, I heard about that.
So like our first apartment on West Chase, we tried to do it, and I get like the part of the apartment that they needed to plug it in was like right at the beginning, right at the entryway when you walk in. And we were like, well, that's not going to work. We'll just stick with Xfinity because we already had Xfinity. It plugged into the study where I needed it to be, right, at the time. Mm-hmm. And so that worked just fine. So we switched back to Xfinity. Well, I think when we moved to Janetta, we were walking around Walmart one day. Because, like, you know, when you get a new apartment, you go buy, like, new apartment things, like shower curtains and stuff, just kind of, like, freshen up the apartment.
Yeah, the usual stuff.
Yeah. So we were doing that. And you know how they have like the AT&T people like just kind of stationed by the electronics? And they try to like come up to you and talk to you and sell you some stuff. I was avoiding them the whole time. I was dipping down aisles. Khadija didn't pick up on that, and we walked right by them. And so they sold us on AT&T again, and we switched back to AT&T. And I think that time it worked. That time everything it was set up correctly and everything else. However, we got duped because the guy said they had some sign-up special going on where it's like, oh, if you sign up, you get a $200 gift card. Like, you can use that you can use that gift card towards the first couple of months of the AT&T bill because it's only going to be like $50 a month.
Yeah.
I'm like, that'll work great.
Sucks.
We get the gift card in. It's a Walmart gift card.
Oh, come on,
and
man.
We were like, what the hell? So Khadija calls AT&T about it, and they're like, no, it's supposed to be a Walmart gift card. They should have told you that. And Khadija was like, nope, he told me it was a regular gift card. Like, you need to do something about that employee because he's literally lying to people to like set it up, to set up their stupid AT&T internet.
Yeah, he's doing it to set up the internet, and he's just trying to give a gift card and all that. Yeah, it was truly a lie. It was truly a lie. And that's why I don't fall for those people that be inside those places.
Yeah. I always just try to avoid them. Like, I know it's a job and somebody's going to do it, but just I dip down aisles. I will go completely out of my way to get away from you. Like, if I have to go to electronics that day, I don't need electronics that day. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't even do all that. Like, if I see them, I'll tell them, I was like, no, I'm good. And I got better internet. I pay less and I'm good to go. Yeah. I keep it moving.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was the second to last apartment. And then the last apartment, which is, you know, the one you've been to the most recently. Again, AT&T just wasn't available there. So we had to like go back to Xfinity. We've always flip-flop over the years. But long story short, AT&T has always been annoying. So in this apartment, the AT&T, again, it's not plug and play. It should be plug and play, but it's like such an elaborative process, and you need to call customer support to help you. Well, here's the thing, James. Inside this apartment, if you don't got AT&T, you won't have service. There's no phone service inside this apartment outside of like Wi-Fi connection, or if you're an AT&T member. We didn't realize that. Man. You can go outside on the patio and have full bars just fine, but as soon as you walk in, dead.
Oh, man. And
so I'm sitting there, and the AT&T thing is in the closet, in the master closet of the apartment. I'm like, how am I supposed to call customer service? Like, I can't troubleshoot this because I can't be in the same room with the router because I got to be outside.
You got to be outside.
Yeah. And so the next day, you know, Khadija's here. We've refreshed. We've had a good night's sleep. We go shopping. We get the new apartment stuff, and then we come over to the apartment. Khadija's here, my parents were here, like everybody was here. I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to call AT&T and we're going to figure this out because I need to communicate with people. But, you know, like Khadija's in Houston again this week, right? So like I need to be able to communicate with Khadija like while she's out of town. Like I just, you know, communication is key. You can't just be in the dark.
Yeah. You got to talk to the person that you're with. Yeah, that makes sense. You got to talk to your wife.
Yeah, and we got this podcast we got to record. I got business to attend to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you also got business. Yeah.
So I call AT&T. I'm out on the patio on the phone with AT&T, and the ladies give me instructions. I'm telling Khadija through the patio like screen door. She's running to the back of the apartment to like try out the troubleshooting. It was like a 30-minute process of like this relay customer support going on. And then eventually, it was ridiculous. And then eventually we finally got the internet up. So crisis averted. We got internet. We got communication. But then,
so basically it took you like 2 or 3 days to get internet.
It took us like a day. It wasn't
a day.
Yeah, it wasn't super long. But
it feels like 2 or 3 days from the way you tell
the way I'm describing it, it felt like 2 or 3 days, honestly. On top of this, we're getting calls and we're getting emails from our apartment person saying like, hey, the renter's insurance still doesn't look right and all this stuff.
Oh my God.
And we're just like, yeah, we can't get the calls and emails because there's no service in here. Lady. Like we finally
okay. So let me ask you this. Like to this day, are they still giving you problems about this rental insurance?
No. So what Khadija ended up doing was on Monday morning, she called Allstate and told Allstate the whole situation. She's like, look, the apartment complex is being really weird about my husband's name not being on the renter's insurance. Like, is there any way we can get his name at it? And Allstate, respectively was like, well, I mean, he is covered. Like the insurance card does say he's covered, and Khadija's like, no, we understand that.
We understand that, yeah.
The apartment, for whatever reason, just wants his name on it. And they're like, okay, well, what we can do is we can list him as an unrelated relative to have his name on the insurance or whatever. And we were like, great, that's fine. That works. So we ended up getting all that done, and we sent it off to the lady, and they accepted it. They were like, all right, cool, that's good. So we got that figured out, and we got that taken care of. But it was just like, geez, like we're here, we're just trying to get service. Like we're getting these passive aggressive emails and voicemails that we're missing because we didn't have service to begin with. So like when the internet kicked on, like we got all the stuff. It was just a lot. Just a lot going on.
That was a whole process, man.
It was. And then this was Saturday. So Sunday, all of her stuff arrives. And Khadija has to go to like a thing for her niece because one of her nieces is in cheerleading, and they had like a competition in San Antonio. So of course, like her family, knowing that she's in San Antonio now, called her up and was like, "Hey, we're going to be in San Antonio on Saturday for your niece's cheer competition. Like, you should come." And so Khadija went to go do that, and then I had to deal with the movers, moving everything in, telling them where everything goes. The weekend was just a long weekend. Even Monday was kind of a long day because like we were unpacking stuff on Monday, and then Khadija had to get ready to go to Houston. And so that's been my life this week, James. Just unpacking, dealing with moving.
So is she staying in a hotel?
Yeah, she's in a hotel.
Of course, though.
The original plan, James, was because we have a Halloween party to go to. So the original plan was I was just going to go down. She was going to return a rental car. We were going to go to the Halloween party, and then we were going to drive back up on the next day after the Halloween party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, her other niece has like a UIL competition in San Antonio, and because Khadija went to the one niece's thing, now she's got to go to the other niece's thing because the other niece was like, "Well, if she can go to my cousin's thing, she can go to my thing." Yeah. Right? So it's like now we got family things.
So that's why you guys gonna be late.
Yeah, so that's why we're gonna be late to the Halloween thing. It's just like it just never ends. Like
yeah. Well, I hope you're able to make it.
We'll make it. We're not gonna make it. You know what I mean? Like we'll be there. It would have been it would have been easier, but no, her nieces are overachievers in UIL and competitions. So
God, man, it sucks when you have like all things planned out and it never goes astray. Everything happens all at once.
I'm telling you, it's rough. But
yeah,
I'll tell you an interesting thing is down the road. First of all, we're close to like 2 Sonics, which I love because the other apartment, or in Houston in general, there's just not a convenient Sonic drive-in.
There is not. There is not enough Sonic. I think on Westheimer there's one.
There is, but it's on Westheimer.
It's on Westheimer, exactly.
So it's close, but it's far because you have all the lights and you have all the traffic. So
exactly
5 minutes both ways from us, there's a Sonic, which is really nice. But in one direction, there's a Sonic James.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you. Okay, you know how there's like a gas station Burger King combo or like a gas station McDonald's combo?
Like Church's Chicken gas station combo.
Church's Chicken. I haven't seen one of them in a long time.
Really?
Yeah, my hometown used to have a Church's gas station combo. Actually,
it's still a lot.
I haven't seen the Church's in a while. Actually, to be fair.
Wow, man, I don't know what to tell you on that one. There's plenty of churches. Well, to be fair, you kind of stayed in the kind of an upper scale area, so
yeah,
you know, right. you're not gonna find too many Church's Chicken in the upper scale area.
I guess so. Well, anyway, so I found a Sonic gas station combo gas station, or not gas station, but like Sonic combo. Yeah, Sonic gas station combo. Mm-hmm. You can walk into the Sonic and order at like a regular register, like it's McDonald's or anybody else. Like you just walk in and order, and it has a drive-through in the back, but they don't have like the drive-through like sections, right? They don't have the typical little drive-in points.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's just one drive-through in the back, and then you walk in and order. And so yesterday, while I was unpacking and unloading and stuff, I was like, I'm getting kind of hungry. Let me go get a snack because I had some food here, but I wanted those pretzel twists. I'm always craving those little pretzel twists with cheese. They're so good. So I was like, let me go to that gas station, walk in Sonic, because I want to experience that. I've never experienced a Sonic that's not a drive-through, right? That's not true. It's a very uncommon thing.
You're right. You got a point.
So I drove over there, and I go to a park, and I go inside. And for a second, I almost don't go inside because in my head, I was like, what if it's not actually like a walk-up order Sonic? What if I walk in and it's just gas station? And they're gonna be like, "No, you idiot! It's Sonic, America's drive-in. Like you drive through."
Yeah.
Like in my head, I was like, "What if they're just really rude about it?" But I go in.
I get that. I get that.
But I go in and they're not. They're regular Sonic employees and regular fast food employees, I guess. So they take my order, I get my food, and I get out of there. But I was like, this is an experience. This is different.
It sounds like so you can sit in there.
Yeah, you can sit in there and eat. They got tables.
Oh man, that's nice.
It's just kind of really strange. Like you don't see that often.
No, you don't. You really don't. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I was talking to Joel about it yesterday, and he made the comment too that like you don't see a Whataburger gas station combo at all either.
I don't think you ever will.
Whataburger is too much of a staple.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's kind of like. I think so. You see a McDonald's, one. You see a Burger King one. But yeah, you're right. Whataburger, no, never.
Yeah, I've never seen like a Whataburger attached to anything. They've always been like standalone brick and mortar places. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of been my first week in San Antonio so far, sir.
That sounds pretty chaotic.
It is. Moving is never easy. You know this.
Oh yeah, sure. As a person that's moved multiple times, it's multiple times around Houston. Yeah, it's never fun. But moving out of state is even worse.
Out of city, I'm still in state.
I'm sorry. Out of city is even worse. So I definitely know what that's like.
Right.
So, I guess by next week you should be able to be a little bit more honed in. Everything a little bit more honed in for you.
I think so. I think so. That's what I'm planning on. This week is just like settling in, getting unpacked, and I've been kind of working on sending out emails and making phone calls, like trying to look for possible jobs. But this week is really just all about like getting everything settled in. Next week is crunch time. Yeah,
I mean you can't possibly do both.
Right.
You can't possibly do both at the same time. This week is definitely for that. Next week, Khadijah will be home completely.
Right.
So you'll be able to see your wife. You don't have to worry about calling her remotely.
Yeah. And she'll be she'll be working up here. We'll have kind of a sense of like how the schedule is going to be in our daily lives, and then I can focus on getting a real job. Yeah. Again.
Yeah. Hey, I also heard that Regal out down there in San Antonio, it's going to be changed. They're about to I think they're about to redo it to Cinemark.
Oh, really? That's funny.
If I'm not mistaken, that's what I heard.
Well, there's
I was like,
there's a couple of Regals next to us. We went out to a Regal the other night, and it's kind of a sad looking Regal. Maybe that's the one that's getting updated.
Could be.
That was an experience.
Could be.
From the land of the rising sun, Children James a podcast very good. Listen all time. Pedrodino Godzilla.
So James, I mentioned we went to a Regal the other night, and obviously, of course, we went to go see Venom 3. I assume you've seen Venom 3?
Yes, I have, sir.
Okay, well, let's just get into it. I'm going to do the spoiler bot right here.
This is an on-the-go spoiler alert. You have now been alerted.
I don't think there's really anything you can't spoil from this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything worth spoiling. So it doesn't really matter. I don't think anyone cares if we spoil it tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And just, I don't know. I always like to start with your opinions. What did you think of the movie?
I mean, it's pretty much what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
My expectations weren't high or low, so because I didn't like the second one. I liked the first one. You know, once you get past the fact that it's a comedy and not what you're expecting it to be,
I don't even know.
You can kind of watch it for what it is.
I don't even know if the movie thinks it's a comedy, because there's a lot of funny in it, or attempt at funny, but then there's like a lot of like hardcore serious actors, and I don't know. It's just like the tones shift throughout the whole film is what I kind of got.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one is probably the most untoned, uneven movie we've ever seen.
It is,
because most of the time it's always been a little bit even.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one's definitely a little bit different.
I honestly think this is kind of like the weakest of the trilogy.
Really?
I do. I tried to have fun in this movie, but I did not enjoy it as much as the other two, to be honest. I know, coming from me, right?
Yeah, because I actually did kind of like this one a lot more than I like the second one. I totally did.
I can understand it. I think plot wise, it probably is a little bit better than the second one.
Oh, way better. Way better. I like the cast. The cast kind of, even though they were undeveloped and they really served no purpose to the actual core of the movie, it was still better. It was still good to see kind of some credible actors.
Yeah.
You know, the girl from Ted Lasso, I like her a lot.
Juno Temple.
Completely underused.
Very underused.
Her storyline looked like something from a CW DC TV show, like
shoehorned in there. Like they just like we have to give her a backstory. She has to have a backstory.
And then of course they went comic book with Strickland, because Strickland's in the actual comics. Yeah,
but they didn't do him exact apparently.
Nah, he was just a usual general.
Yeah,
usual disgruntled general. He doesn't like scientists. He doesn't believe in aliens. You know, well, he believes in aliens, but he believes they're here to kill everybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was kind of useless, too, which I'm very shocked, because I like him. He's a very good actor.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but he's really good.
He has a really hard to pronounce name. So.
He does. So I'm not even going to try to pronounce it.
Yeah, and he was Baron Mordo. He's Baron Mordo in Doctor Strange.
Yep, he's Baron Mordo. Yep.
Yeah, man, the beginning of the movie kind of got me, right? Because obviously they retcon the Spider-Man thing. They retcon Tom Hardy or Eddie Brock's whole motivation to go to New York.
True.
And I feel like that's from the reshoots. That has to be from the reshoots.
Yeah, because there were reshoots with this movie. I don't think people forget. I think people forgot that. Yeah, there was complete reshoots with this.
I mean, the very beginning of the movie, you can tell it's from the reshoots, because that weird scene where Venom's like, "We're gonna make a margarita. It's gonna be funny. And we're using our tentacles to make this margarita." That felt so disingenuous and weird to me.
Why is that?
I don't know. Just something about it just didn't mesh well. It just felt too cheesy.
Huh.
And I know it's I know it's a cheesy movie, and I know it's comic book and whatnot, but that scene in particular just felt forced.
Yeah.
And it's because the exact scene right after it tonally shifts, complete 180. It goes from this goofy scene to a more serious, we're going to investigate, these dogs are, caged up because they're making them dog fight. It changes tonally. Even the way Venom talks to Eddie changes.
True.
Right?
Yeah, I get that.
So, and that has to be a product of the reshoots. And then the exposition in the movie, there 3 times we get told about the Codex.
Yep.
The exact same explanation from 3 different characters.
Which I never heard of. I never heard of this codex. And they never pointed this codex out in any of the 2 movies that we've seen.
Right. Well, it is from the Venom comics. It's from the earlier Venom storylines. But like this, it was before like the Null stuff happened. Actually, it's been around for a while. And Null is like a really new character. I don't think Null was created until after the first Venom movie, honestly.
Well, yeah, because the Venom comics, like, it wasn't really selling, so they decided to create a new character. Yeah. Which is actually pretty cool. He was a pretty cool character.
No, kind of is a cool character. A lot of people were excited that he was in this film. Yeah, his first appearance was August 22nd, 2018. So probably just before the first Venom movie.
Yep.
Very new to the Venom lore. Which explains why he wasn't in the first Venom movie. Because I feel like if he was created around that time or before that time, he would have been set up from the beginning.
I think so. I think so. I think that you could have done a trilogy that could have surrounded all around him, and you know what? Could have been better. It could have been better.
It could have.
Who knows?
Yeah, we'll never know, unfortunately. But yeah, just like the tonal shifts were just weird, and then. Obviously, the strongest parts of the film are just like Eddie and Venom, like their dynamic,
which is the best part of the film.
It really is, and I mean, this movie should have just been him on the run from the government, or him on the run from the alien. I don't like that there was like 2 things chasing him. It felt like 2 stories going on at once.
I'd rather see him on the run against the government. 'Cause I don't like monsters with no. It's easy to put a CGI monster and. It is. Have them be the villain. Well, I hate that.
Well, I hate that. That goes back to the reshoot thing. I'm pretty sure that monster is a product of the reshoots, because there's a scene in this movie specifically where, first of all, so part of the premise is Eddie or Venom cannot fully come out because the codex will be revealed, and these monsters, these xenophages, can hunt him down and kill him. Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so they know this the whole movie. They're like, oh. Can't turn into Venom, even though he does at times to save Eddie. But, you know, that's a strict rule in this film. So they go to Vegas, and they meet Mrs. Chin there, because I guess they had to put Mrs. Chin in here somewhere, even though they could have just had her...
Waste of entire time.
Really? Like, they could have just had her at the beginning. You know what I mean? Like
It stops the whole film.
It does.
For that.
And this is why I feel like the aliens are part of the reshoot, because... They meet Mrs. Chen. They go to her like super awesome penthouse that she won from gambling so much. And Venom's like, we're going to party and we're going to dance. And Venom comes out and he dances with Mrs. Chen and everything. Completely ignoring the rule that like he can't be out. Otherwise the xenophage is going to come straight for him. Lo and behold, xenophage comes straight after him. They fight for a little bit, but then the government shows up and then the xenophage just leaves. Well, no, Venom morphs back to Eddie, right? That's what happened. Mm-hmm. And then the xenophage just leaves. But like as soon as the xenophage leaves, the government's there in a helicopter. Like there's no time between those actions. Like it literally jumps out the window, the roof of the casino, and then the helicopter shows up immediately.
Also, too, just kind of go back a little bit. When we see Strickland, he's talking to somebody. So who do you think he's talking to?
You know who the actor is? The guy who played Dan from the first 2 movies, Dr. Dan.
Dr. Dan.
The guy who's dating Anne Wing's character.
Annie. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think he's the same character. I think he was just used as a shadowy figure. But
so who is he playing?
I don't know. It's not confirmed. Like the voice credit is to the same actor who plays Dan.
That is crazy.
It's so weird. So this brings up another point. This feels like another part 1 to a soon-to-be part 2. This doesn't feel like part 3 of Venom. This feels like another first movie. You know, because plot-wise, it kind of follows the same plot of the first one.
Well, not only that, but it sets up so much stuff for a future movie.
Right.
Which Tom Hardy's already said he's not doing a future movie.
Right. And Eddie, or Venom, quote unquote, dies in this film, which I feel like it should have been Eddie. I think Eddie should have sacrificed himself.
I mean, yeah, it probably should have been. It probably would have went a lot easier.
It would have, and I just don't like the fact that Eddie finally makes it back to New York and Venom's not with him. I don't like that they went to New York without Venom. That was the whole premise of this movie, by the way, was Eddie and Venom are going to New York because they can clear his name because he's on the run for killing, quote unquote, killing Patrick Mulligan.
Yeah.
From the last movie, who wasn't dead. Well, also, the whole toxin symbiote thing was a little weird because that symbiote that he has in this movie is not toxin. Did you notice that?
Yeah, my friend is he's a very big Spider-Man and Venom fan, so he was pretty pissed off once he found out the symbiotes and who they were, and he's like that none of these guys looks anything like anything in the comics. They didn't even resemble it.
Well, did you
names weren't even right.
Did you pick up the explanation though? Did you catch that?
No, what was the explanation?
Okay, so when they first like go to Patrick Mulligan and they give him the symbiote, right? They explain that like, oh, we found him, he was left for dead or whatever. They throw in a line that, oh, he had a symbiote, but the symbiote left him for dead. So that's when we picked him up.
Huh.
So the symbiote he has in this movie is not toxin at all whatsoever. It's not claimed to be toxin. They even go out of their way to explain that like the original symbiote he had, which I would guess is toxin, right?
Yeah, most likely because it's set up for that.
Yeah,
it was set up for that.
Yeah. So the symbiote that he had, which is presumably toxin, left him for dead, and now they picked him up and they gave him that other symbiote from, I guess, the original Meteor from the first movie, because they don't really explain where they get the symbiotes from either. I guess it's implied that they're picking them off of Venom, because Venom's just dropping symbiote babies everywhere. Because I mean, he kind of does. That is how they reproduce. They show like a little quick montage of them coming to Earth, and then General Strickland seeing them. Yeah, and then he just captured them. So I think it's just a callback from the very first movie, that Meteor from the first movie with like Riot and the other symbiotes. Yeah. Because the Life Foundation, the Life Foundation also had other symbiotes.
Well, yeah, this movie definitely coincides with the first. Let's just get this out the way.
Right.
The second one might as well not even exist.
Right.
That Carnage one might not. It might not even exist. It's like you could just they took one little plot out of that first one, out of the second one, and put it in this one. Other than that, this one definitely is a callback to the first one.
Right. I mean, other than the fact that like Patrick Mulligan's in this movie, and they mentioned that like he had a symbiote, it is a direct sequel to the first one, and not so much. Yeah,
it's a direct sequel to the first one.
That's what I mean. This just felt like a weird like redo of the first movie, but at the same time, it was like the last movie.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're not gonna get any pushback from me on anything that you're talking about. Let's get this out the way.
It's so weird.
I've accepted the fact for what these movies are.
Yeah,
and I've accepted what they are. So I watch them come what may. I don't like them. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of these things. But if I didn't have to do this, if I didn't have to watch this movie, I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't.
Well, I saw the scene where all the symbiotes like take over the scientist like beforehand. I kind of spoiled myself on it, but that got me more excited for the movie. I was like, oh, they're doing like the other symbiotes, and that's gonna be cool.
Oh boy! And then you saw that
in the movie, I was a little disappointed because they don't have names, they don't really have too much personality.
Nope.
And they immediately get killed off. I think the one lady with the Christmas tree, I think that was for sure Lasher.
Yeah, it was implied that it was. Like I say, if you look on the internet or you look on YouTube, it gives you the list of the symbiotes that were in the movie. Mm-hmm. And when I saw Anti-Venom, I was just like, you got to be this is ridiculous.
Really? Somebody named it Anti-Venom?
It was Anti-Venom. It was because I did see a white symbiote, but I was like, no, that can't be. That can't be.
I didn't count that as Anti-Venom. I don't count that as Anti-Venom.
Oh, but I mean,
the only one I
want to, but
the only one I count is Lasher and then Agony at the end, the purple one.
All right. I'm telling you, it's hard because they don't have the symbol on there.
Yeah,
they don't have the symbol, and that's on Sony.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the whole Null thing, right? You bring in Null to the equation. Null has like a spider symbol on him as well. And in the comics,
yes, he does.
In the comics and in the storyline, it is retconned to explain that like that symbol that Venom actually has is like a dragon and not a spider. It just happens to look like a spider, and that's how Venom came out, and that's why everyone thinks it's a spider. But it turns out it's a symbol from Null. and it's supposed to be like a dragon because Venom gets wings in the comics. Like it gets really wacky and crazy, which all the symbiote storylines get a little like nuts after a while. Yeah. To be fair,
true.
So if you're gonna bring in Null to the equation, you could have brought back the symbol for this. Like you could have explained, like, since Null is starting to wake up, that the symbol shows up on Venom. You know what I mean? Because they're all connected to him because he created the symbiotes or whatever. So like that could have been a sign that like Null is waking up and getting power again. Is that, oh, the symbol shows up? Like, what's the symbol about, Venom? Oh, well, this is from Null. This.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's the details and information on why they can't use these symbols and all that. Because I'm not gonna lie with you, outfits and that stuff does take away from a lot. Yeah, from the experience when you watch these movies. Like just watching the Batman movie and not seeing a bat symbol of some kind.
Yeah.
It just takes away. It takes away. And it just took away from the movie for me. The whole Null, which I knew he wasn't going to be in there for 3 minutes of a film.
Right.
That's stupid.
It's stupid, but I'm kind of glad they didn't try to like bring him in any more than they did.
Well, yeah. But I'd rather you not even use him at all.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I'm hearing that Null's supposed to coincide with Spider-Man 4, which is just that's even more annoying. I'm just like, Sony, why?
I think that's really just a big rumor. I don't know.
You would have to think it's going to pay off some type of dividends because Spider-Man 4 is supposed to start filming allegedly in the spring of next year, in the summer of next year, and Tom Holland has all these things he got going on down the pipeline. And I'm just like, man, this is just so much stuff you try to do. Yeah. So it looks like we're not gonna get no grounded Spider-Man. It looks like from what we're seeing, that's not on the horizon.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't buy those rumors. I just don't, because Marvel doesn't work with Sony like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they did the multiverse thing by bringing in the other two Spider-Man, but that was it. And they brought in the villains too. But I don't think that was like a forced decision. You know what I mean? That was purely because, like, oh, this is what the fans want. This can work. I don't think they're going to do another, like, multiverse type of movie with Sony. They might do a multiverse movie. They might do a bigger scale Spider-Man movie. But I don't think they're going to do it with Sony, with Null. You know what I mean? I don't really see it happening.
I hope not.
And especially since they completely retconned, like, the whole, like, Venom saw Spider-Man on the TV screen. They were going to go to New York to find Spider-Man in this film. Like, that went away. That whole motivation just went away entirely. No more talks of it.
And sidebar too, a little lame ass joke they made, the Venom made.
About the multiverse.
I'm tired of the multiverse. I was like, yeah, we're tired of your universe too. Yeah, we're also tired of your universe.
Yeah,
your universe sucks just as much as the multiverse, if not more.
Yeah. It's like,
so it's like, come on now.
Yeah, it was like a self-deprecating joke.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man, come off that.
Yeah, but the sad thing is like I really do enjoy the dynamic between Eddie and Venom. Like, if you would just do like if you would have just done a smaller movie with Eddie and Venom, like a small, like they're being hunted down by the government, and then the government has like anti-symbiote technology or whatever, that would have been perfect. That would have been great. Just more Eddie, Venom. Like, the whole scene when, like, he's in the van with the hippies is honestly the best scene in the movie for me.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Even though the hippie family serves no purpose, they're just a plot point to be used.
Yeah.
But I actually did enjoy them. I mean, yeah, of course, Venom has never had a personality. It's never been anything, because it doesn't tie into that type of thing. Yeah. It's meant to get in your head and pretty much bring out all the ambitions and everything that you want.
Yeah.
It's like red kryptonite and Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's originally that's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
But when you add the personality to Venom, this is probably the one bright spot, like you just got to saying, is one of the best bright spots of Spider-Man and of Venom, is giving Venom a character.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with that either.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It's just great seeing, like, Eddie's life has been really affected by having Venom. Inside, like, for the negative, like, it has not been a good thing for Eddie. Like, Eddie is a vehicle. You know what I mean? Like, Venom just drives Eddie around, essentially. Like, he has no real choice in the matter. He just kind of goes and tolerates it.
Well, it was also emotional too as well. Just see him at the end, see him dying. That was pretty cool. You know, not cool, but it was pretty cool to see. Yeah, it was pretty cool to see, you know, the dynamic and how Eddie really missed him and stuff. I thought that was pretty nice.
Yeah, it was. It was a nice send off to this weird little trilogy that we got. Until
we got to the Maroon 5 song, I'm like,
is that Maroon 5? I thought it was Oliver Tree.
Oh, absolutely not. That is Maroon 5. That's Adam Levine.
No.
Yes, Adam Levine. Cheers to the memories. Yeah, Adam Levine memories. And I was just like, who signed off on this? Who signed off on this in the studio and said, yeah, let's show this and put this song in here. And let's put this montage, this ridiculous montage of the same thing you keep putting in the same montage. It's like you really didn't show too many memories. It was just the same montage of something you just already saw.
Oh, no, the song was created by Rage Against the Machine's Tom Morello and American-Canadian singer Grandson.
What are you talking about?
That the One Last Dance? The end credit song?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the little montage song at the end.
I honestly forgot there was a song during that montage.
Yeah, it was a corny ass montage song at the end where he was going to travel to the Statue of Liberty, and it was terrible. Yeah. It was just terrible. I don't know who signed off on that.
That's crazy.
Oh man, it was so corny. People were laughing in the movie theater. I was like, "Is this meant to be the emotional part?"
This is meant to be.
It was so corny. Everybody in the movie theater was just laughing.
Damn.
Like you didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that. All they had to do was just cut it off.
Yeah.
Him talking to this military guy that no one knows, just a random ass actor. And then all you have to do was just next scene. Him in New York, hearing the hustle and bustle in New York, go to the Statue of Liberty, boom, I'll never forget you, and go ahead on with the movie.
Yeah,
all that extra stuff was just stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a strange, like compared to the other two, such a strange movie in comparison because the other two had clear cut plots. Like there wasn't a whole lot more going on outside of like the premise of the film, but this one had like 2 or 3 things going on. You had shadowy figures. Like the Strickland, Rex Strickland, like requested authority over the Six.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was just like, "What is this?"
And you were thinking like, "Oh, maybe it's because in the comics there was like a group of symbiote hunters called the Jury or something like that, and that was commanded under Rex Strickland." So like, "Oh, maybe it's gonna be those guys, and maybe they have symbiotes or whatever." But no, like they were just like nameless, faceless soldiers.
Yeah. Like I say, man, it was just it was a very weird movie.
Very weird. Very end of a trilogy.
I really am glad this franchise is over.
But also, it feels like a setup for something else, doesn't it? Like it just feels like a part 1 to another movie.
It's supposed to be a setup allegedly to something else in Marvel. That's all I can tell you. A
lot of people are thinking Agent Venom because like there's that one guy who got torn in half by the alien monster, and I guess at some point it's stated that his name is Thompson. Like his last name is Thompson. So I don't know if they're going to try to make him like Flash Thompson, Agent Venom, or something like that, and like that's their next movie. Like this, that would be the sequel to this one is an actual Agent Venom film.
Maybe. So let me ask you this then. So what do you think they're going to do with Nolan? Because you saw the end credit scene, what we all did. It's like they're going to do something with him at Marvel.
Supposedly,
they have to. They have to.
So a lot of the big speculation, which I don't really buy into this as much.
Secret Wars. Is to be Secret Wars.
No, not Secret Wars. A lot of the big speculation I've seen is this is a setup for like their little Sinister Six universe they got going on. There's people like,
which I can see that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're gonna get Kraven, Vulture, Morbius, and Agent Venom, and maybe a Rhino to like fight Null.
That makes sense.
It makes sense, but it also doesn't because like I don't think they would not very well against Null. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the deal, though, Jacob. Like
you got no other setup. There's no other. Yeah, there's no other people.
Yeah. It might be the Sinister Six. It might just be that. Unfortunately.
Yeah, like a Suicide Squad type setup. Just like we'll get these 6 evildoers together to fight Null, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's really weird.
That might be it. That might be it. I think they might be doing something similar to that because there's really nothing else you can really do. Right? I keep hearing all the stuff about Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. I don't see him coming doing the Spider-Man unless it's on his schedule. It's on his schedule and his time.
Yeah.
You know, he's got his own personal stuff that he's been doing, his own movies that he's got he's been doing good in. Mm-hmm. And you know, Tobey Maguire, he's MIA sometime, you know, and it's gonna cost a lot of money to get him.
Well, I think Tobey Maguire already said it needs to be a big check.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's it with that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, that's not to say that these guys not coming back, but I'm just saying it's like to hang your hat on since Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire again and try to rekindle what you did. I just don't see that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're coming back to be a cameo in the Sinister Six type film either.
No,
you know what I mean? Like they'd come back to be the main character, and then they would fight the Sinister Six. But they're not gonna come back to be the antagonist of a movie.
No, and like I say, if they come back, it's gonna probably be in Secret Wars. That's probably the next time you'll see them again.
Right. So
yeah.
Well, you know, we got one more of these movies to go. We got Kraven the Hunter coming out in a couple months, and it's sad. It looks like the most solid one. The most recent trailer we saw before Venom looked really good, and a lot of
you hope so.
A lot of people have said the opening scene is really good, and I mean we'll see. I think what would save that movie is if they don't try to connect it to whatever else they got going on.
Oh, you know that's not gonna happen.
I know.
You know that's not gonna happen.
But that would be the saving grace to Kraven the Hunter. If they just make a standalone Kraven the Hunter film for whatever, you know, like, hey, here's Kraven the Hunter, here's his origin. At the end of the movie, have him go to New York, but like not really as a setup, but just because like that's the next path of Kraven anyway, right?
I hear you, man. That's just I just don't really see it that way. I think they're just they'll probably link it into whatever happened in Venom.
Or Morbius.
Most likely.
Sure.
With, you know, in Morbius and all the other crap.
Or somehow Madam Web. I don't maybe at the end of the movie he'll find out there's 3 Spider Women just swinging around New York. And he's like, I'm gonna go hunt them.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Jeez. You know, you can't blame a guy for wanting to support the underdog. You know what I mean? Like I did try to enjoy these movies, but Madam Web really took it out of me, and then Venom 3 was just like, wow, what happened?
Well, it's definitely doing it. Look, it's definitely messing us up. It's definitely messing up the people that have to watch these movies and people that work for the movie theater chains because these movies are not doing anything. Yeah. And once again,
off the back of Joker 2, you know, Joker 2 was bad. Venom 3, like, probably didn't so well in the box office.
Yeah, it bombed. It bombed, man. It's like the only movie that's been doing good in the box office so far is Conclave.
I never heard of that one.
This is a priest, not a pope. It's about the movie about the first pope.
Mm. Oh, that one. Yeah.
First pope.
Yeah.
That movie's been kicking ass at the box office.
Dang. There was another movie I saw an article that was like, oh, it's finally ending its theatrical run, and it's been out for months, which really surprised me. I forgot what movie it was. Yeah. And I should have put it in my notes, but it's some movie that came out months ago, and I think we might have even covered it or something. But it's a bigger mainstream movie. But yeah, it's finally ending its theatrical run, which blew me out of my chair because it's just like, oh wow, it's been like 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, the last movie that lasted longer than 6 months was Top Gun 2.
Top Gun, yeah. Elvis, I think. Elvis as well.
Oh, did Elvis have a pretty long runtime?
Oh, yeah. Elvis stayed in movie theaters for a minute.
Damn. Well, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens down the road just with these Sony films, or even MCU to some degree, because like the MCU is doing a bunch of weird stuff lately. They're trying to course correct. I saw someone made the comment that like really the state of superhero movies right now is going to fall on the backs of Fantastic Four and Superman.
Which I've said that since the beginning we started the franchise. Since the beginning we started the podcast. I've been said that.
You are correct. Like they were like the future of these films are really going to rely on the success of those two movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looks like Marvel's starting to kind of round it up into shape. I'm slowly seeing what they got cooking, and I you know, if the finale is what I think it is, you know, was going to be in the finale of Secret Wars, and we're as much as we've all been complaining and whining, it could set up for something pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, some of it's not complaining. It's just criticism, right? Because there's a difference between criticism and just out and out complaints or complaining.
Well, you got your toxic fans that complain over everything.
Right.
So you got those people getting mixed in and looped in with the other people.
Right.
So,
and there are people who just genuinely enjoy these things, but they have thoughts and opinions.
Yeah, it's just true.
We are on the go.
That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening, and if you would like to join the conversation, you can email us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com.
You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at On The Go with Jacob and James.
You can find James on Instagram at
James9794.
You can find me on Instagram at jacobdantone.audio. James is on the go.
Jacob's on the go.
We're all on the go.